friends, and welcome to another episode of Dark Side of the Word. My name is Kate, and I am here with my vivacious co-host CJ.
Hello, everybody.
I got called out yesterday for my location in the alphabet, and so I went to a V. I searched the V's.
I like vivacious. That's a good adjective for me. I can be vivacious.
Well,
hence my vivacious ghost sweater for Halloween.
The dancing ghost.
The dancing ghost.
It is the first Wednesday. Wow. Okay, I'm losing track of time.
It is not Wednesday.
It is the first Thursday of the month, which means it is time to catch you all up on what we've been doing the last 30 days, kind of give you a realistic picture of a creative life. Maybe we'll provide some inspiration, some chuckles, some news from the trenches.
Did you notice that I didn't ask you what episode we were recording today?
You know, I was going to call you out if you were ready to know what was happening.
I know what's happening. I didn't even have to wait to hear what you were saying in this little introduction. I know that we're doing the writing and creative updates today because I've made a concerted effort to remember things after our, I don't know, like 2 episodes ago, something like that. Yes. So there you go. You're welcome.
Well, thank you. Thank you. You can fill in where I am falling apart because since Hurricane Helena has blown through my life, I have lost track of the days. I have lost track of my sanity. I do not know what's going on anymore. And we're also getting ready to meet up. And
yes,
so
we are.
I have lost track of everything in my life. We are fine. Just to give everyone a heads up, I am fine. We were very lucky. The storm took a slight jog to the west, which meant we went from having 100-mile-an-hour sustained winds to 40-mile-an-hour sustained winds. So we are fine. Our little town is already back to normal. My thoughts go out to everyone who is still suffering from the storm, and we hope that you find your loved ones, that you're all safe, and that we can hopefully start the rebuilding process.
Oh, it's so terrifying. It reminds me why I like living in New Jersey. Even when I hate it, I like it for not having hurricanes. Usually, sometimes we do, but never, thankfully, as bad as what happened in North Carolina. That's crazy.
Well, I find that they never get hit like that, and they never have, this is monumental flooding. This is not normal, but because the storm was so perfect, and then they already, I believe, were very wet and saturated, and so then when all the rain came, and then landslides were more likely, and all of this, and so it's just not something that normally happens, but this storm, if anyone was following it or watching it, the amount of times that the meteorologists that I followed were saying, this is not normal, the storm is being weird, the storm is not following certain patterns. The storm is confusing us. It confused us all.
Yeah. Well, that's just how weather is these days. It's just not what we're used to anymore. And this is just another example of crisis. Climate control crisis. Control? Is that the right word? Not climate control.
Now I just blinked.
Change? Climate change crisis? Climate control is making things cold when you want them warm. I don't know. Let's just move on and talk about writing, because I'm out of it, totally.
Well, and in case I risk making this a weather podcast, I do just want to warn everyone, if you're watching this in real time, we got some more storms to watch out for. We got some more storms. Being a Floridian, I am ready, in a way, not. I quickly learned how much I forgot how to live out a storm and write out a storm in this storm. So we got some changes to make, but just keep an eye out, be safe, heed warnings. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. But yes, we are a writing, artistic, I wouldn't even say we're writing. We are an artistic podcast to hopefully inspire all sorts of creatives out there. We are not just for writers. We too are writers ourselves, and so we come from a writing perspective. But hopefully, no matter what form of creative you are, you can take something away, you can be inspired, you can know you're not alone.
Yes, exactly what she said. We are a creative podcast. That's actually how I was describing our podcast to somebody the other day, that we are a podcast for creatives, writers and other creatives. So I'm on board with that, which is good because I want to talk about writing and blogging today. And even though blogging is technically writing, I feel like it's more just general creativity and not just writing like novel writing, you know?
Agreed. Your blog is not just for writing either. You also curate recipes, and you have that culinary aspect, which is a form of art, everyone. Yeah. And if anyone saw her latest Instagram post with the tart,
I'm going to talk about that today.
But the excitement is that so you are multifaceted. Not only that you write, but you also create the art. And the same here. I do writing as well as create, clothing items, and I am starting working on my clothing design business and starting that off the ground. So yes, we don't just do writing, but currently
do a lot of things. We are Renaissance women.
Yeah, or ADHD.
Did you see the Instagram thingy I sent you today about freelance?
No, I did not yet.
Okay, so I saw this meme thingy about on Instagram, and hopefully it is true. I don't know if it is definitely true or not, but somebody was saying that they just learned that the origin of the word freelance is from like medieval times when you were a mercenary knight for hire, a free lance.
Oh.
So you could just do whatever you wanted to do and you were just contracted. And I'm like, so the woman's like, I am a knight. And I'm like, that is us. We are creative knights. Because we're technically freelancing. We're doing things on our own and going off, doing whatever we want to do. So good for us. We're creative knights.
I love that. I feel like I heard the origin of podcast, and now I do not remember what it was, but the actual part of the pod of it was quite interesting. So if anyone wants to go Google it, because I don't remember, I'm just teasing you. But
I want to Google it, but I probably shouldn't do that right now while we're recording. So hopefully I'll remember after we get off, but who knows. I remembered not to ask what we're recording today, and that's the only thing I can really remember.
Well, how about this? You start giving your update, and I'm going to go look up the origin.
Oh, I like that.
Of the podcast.
Okay, you go do. I will talk. So first, I'm going to talk about my writing update. It's not too much different from the last time we talked. So I am working on Ghost Children. I finished my revisions in August, like I mentioned, and I spent September reading the manuscript over and refamiliarizing myself with what I wrote, since a lot of it was new content. And I didn't get through it as quickly as I'd hoped because I actually was pretty diligent in reading this time. So when I came across a stumbling block, like a plot hole or a character that needed more depth or a scene that just wasn't packing enough tension, I really thought about it. I just, thought about what's missing and what I could do. Usually at this stage, I'll just kind of gloss over it and leave it for later on, or be like, wonder what Kate will suggest when she sees this. Let's just leave it for her. But this time I actually did the work. I thought about everything, and I actually got some really great ideas. I was super inspired, and I was super excited about that. So I had new ideas for new scenes or tie-ins. I had some restructuring ideas for sections that have been stumping me since the very beginning. And boom, out of nowhere, they just kind of click into place. I'm like, oh, I can just do this, this, and this. I think one of the keys was I printed out the full manuscript this time. And for me, when I do heavy revisions, I need to see it on paper so I can move things around and just flip through the papers, not scroll through the screen. Because I'm old school, I'm old. So I needed the paper version and my little red pencil scribbling things, but it worked. So I'm really happy with the progress. I'm going to spend this month working on revisions, and hopefully a few of those days are going to be when we're doing our writing retreat. I'm very excited about. So we are going on a writing retreat soon. It is me and Kate and another friend of ours, and I don't know how much writing we're actually going to get done, but we're going to try. We're really going to try to do a good amount of writing, at least 2 solid days.
Well, our friend already mentioned that she was really viewing this as a girl's trip.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I was like, okay. Which, granted, we have fun things planned. We are taking a stop in Sleepy Hollow, which I am dying to go to. It is almost equal to, say, visiting Salem for me, which is in the books at some point to visit Salem. So I'm really excited. So we have some fun planned as well as working, but I packed cozy clothes. There's only so much going out. I will be stuck in the house because I have only brought stuck in the house clothes. So
same.
Don't leave me.
No, same, absolutely. I'm not wearing the leggings with the holes in them because I'll be in mixed company, but yeah, I'm wearing definitely the comfy clothes, and I'm glad, originally we were going to do Salem for our writing retreat, but I am kind of glad because I don't think we would have gotten any writing done if we went to Salem. So this is probably good. We'll see Sleepy Hollow, and then we'll go to this little podunk town that no one's ever heard of, and we'll just sequester there in our 1873 historic farmhouse. It looks like something out of Practical Magic, and we'll write, and we'll be cozy, and then...
So as the person who's never seen Practical Magic, and...
Somebody told me it looked like Practical Magic.
No.
It doesn't?
I don't think so. But
okay.
Anyway, I would totally suggest we watch it, but CJ has refused. So...
It seems very sad. I tried watching it. I got through 10 minutes, and I started crying.
It's good. It's about sisterhood.
I can't. I can't. Trigger. It's a trigger.
Well, on top of all of this, I will let you know that this is a safe space, and I did pack the leggings with the holes in them. So.
Yes! Okay, now I'll bring mine too. Why not?
Because they're the most comfortable. Anywho, then I have not gone to replace them yet because I love them so much.
It's hard to get rid of the leggings with the holes in them because they are so comfy. They are so worn in. And I just don't want to give up that comfort.
Exactly.
That's the beauty of working remotely. You know, you don't have to. You can have comfort below the waist.
Here.
No one knows.
I look put together sort of up here. I accidentally brushed my hair. I know that sounds funny, but whatever. No one knows what's going down here.
Yeah, it's all a big secret down here. That sounds odd. But anyway, did you research podcast? Do you want to talk about that?
Yes, I did. Okay, so it is the cast comes from broadcast, as we all know. Very easy. But the pod actually
knew that.
The pod portion actually comes from iPod because podcasts were originally created for the iPod to be able to listen as you go, and so they dropped the I and then it became podcast.
So there were no podcasts before iPod.
I don't think so, no.
There were audiobooks.
Yeah, because it started in 2002. The term was coined, actually, in February of 2004. So.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. They learn something new every day.
Yes, I thought it was fun when I found out about it because it was it came from iPod.
That makes sense.
There goes Apple, changing our lives again.
Seriously. All right, do you want to talk about your writing before I go into blogging stuff?
No, you go ahead.
You sure? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so blogging, if any of you are following awellreadtart.com, you'll see that I have posted a book review and then a book-inspired recipe, and then also I have talked about the companion cookbook that I've been putting recipes into for quite some time. I can now talk about all this because it's out. The book is out and the cookbook is out, and I am really excited to be sharing it with everybody. So, as I mentioned, I had 5 original book-inspired recipes published in a companion cookbook for a novel, and the novel is called In the Garden of Monsters by Crystal King. And it's a mishmash of historical fiction and magical realism and foodie fiction and romance and mythology retelling and spooky fantasy. It has so much packed into it, and it is super good. It's a retelling of the Greco-Roman myth of Hades and Persephone, who were in the underworld, and Persephone ate the pomegranate seed, and that's why we have seasons and all that. And it's retold in the 1940s and involves Salvador Dali. And there's just so much going on, and I loved this book. It was just so much fun. And creating the cookbook recipes was really great for it too. So I sent off the recipes a while back. I finally heard in August that all 5 of them made it in, and now you can get the cookbook online from the author's website. And Kate, maybe you'll put a link in the show notes about it. Thank you.
I will.
So yeah, I'm just really excited about that. I'm already getting a few more hits to the blog, which is really nice to see. It's just good. It's just good momentum, and it's good confidence building, So,
and it really comes back to some of the manifesting stuff that we also talked about, where CJ is really focusing on her writing career, and that's where she wants to explore and go. But in trying to get answers and trying to find out what she's been doing, there's this energy pouring into her blog, and it's been this kind of like really fun, exciting thing. And she's been getting a lot more opportunities like this. And I find that sometimes we just gotta follow the road placed in front of us, and it's not always about what we're trying to force into, like, square peg, round hole, or, all that jazz. And so sometimes weird and unexpected things happen like this. And now look, she has 5 published recipes. Okay? Yeah, granted, it's not a published book, but this is still something that is being sent out that random strangers of a larger audience are viewing.
Yeah, I think it was the author shared with us the people who contributed to the cookbook. I think it's Associated Press, maybe, reviewed the book, like the novel, and they mentioned the cookbook and dropped a link in the review to the cookbook. So people are seeing this thing. I am super excited about that. So who knows where this could go? I am just happy to have the opportunity. Oh, and I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I love the book The City Baker's Guide to Country Living by Louise Miller. And apparently Crystal and Louise are friends, and Louise has contributed a recipe to the cookbook. I and in a cookbook with Louise Miller. Like, as far as I'm concerned, I have fucking made it, because that woman is amazing. She's a wonderful writer. She's a wonderful baker. Just done. Check, done.
Okay, so two things building off what you just said. One being the fact that, do we all witness the amount of energy and excitement that is fueling CJ right now? This is the kind of stuff that, like, yeah, she didn't get a yes from an agent, but this is so big, and it's fueling her through the rest of everything that she's trying to do. And because of how she's feeling internally, that is now being shown externally. And what was it? Oh, I am finishing a manifesting challenge that CJ left me on. I did not mean to do that. I just realized what I did. I swear, my throat was itchy. I did not mean to just pick CJ off. I'm sorry, friend. Anywho, so she left me, but she was talking specifically about a very great example of manifesting, which was that there was this lady who was having great success in her career, but she had a really bad attachment to money and was anxious and running her career from a very anxious, angry side of what she was doing. And then suddenly she really worked through some of that and started manifesting this whole positive light. And suddenly she had opened herself up to creative possibilities that were putting out that she could function and run her company from a less anxious, stressed out way. And she was coming across that way to her clients, which was coming across that way in how she was producing her work, which was coming across to better creative opportunities to solve her stress problems. And then it just became a snowball effect. Now she's able to manage it, and she's able to get done what she needs to do, and she's just living a happier life. A lot of times, manifesting is just opening yourself up to hearing the little voice in your head to help you know what's happening.
And just being happy in my creative life is super important to me. You know, when I started 2024, my word of the year is success. And at the time, I thought it meant like success with getting an agent and getting published. But over the course of the year, I've had success in other ways. And that is just as fulfilling, if not more than what I thought success was going to be. So, like, as far as I'm concerned, I am successful. I am successful in having a fulfilling and happy creative career, which is what I wanted ultimately for my life. So, yay, that's good.
Well, let's notice a little thing that you mentioned earlier. Let's rewind the tape for a few seconds. But earlier you mentioned how, as you were reading your book, you were taking the time to detailedly think out parts and sections to make it better. And so what's happening is you're having this success during this time that you're trying to have a creative endeavor of finishing your book and getting it tightly put together. And so because you're having the success, you're working from a really positive place in your life, because you're filling up the cup and you're having all this energy to be able to work on it. But then also, because you're already having success and being able to sit in that rush and need to, like, get this book out there because you're ready to be somewhere, you're ready to do something, is not happening. And so it's able to let you, like, slow down internally and from your creative space and your creative imagination, that is allowing you to take that time. That now I feel that this book that you're making is going to be the best thing you've ever written because of where you are in your life. That's giving you the space to put that energy into it.
That makes sense.
I beautiful.
You're right. Like, I don't feel like I want to finish the edits for Ghost Children by, say, end of November. But honestly, I don't feel rushed on that. It would be nice to do, just to finish before the holidays and stuff. But I don't feel this huge pressure to do it, because it's been reaffirmed that there are other ways to be creatively fulfilled. And through blogging, through, recipes, and also, actually, to segue to my next point, through being a guest on a different podcast, which is something that I never thought I would be saying.
Okay, I gotta say one more thing before we switch topics really fast, because I had another point. And
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I'm gonna freak you out for a second.
Uh-oh. Is there a spider?
No! I already said I had 2 points, like, forever ago. Okay? But one last comment is too, it's like, it's very good important to make, like, a deadline for yourself, so that we're not just, like, slogging through and taking forever to get somewhere. But there's a difference between a deadline and rushing to create art.
Yeah, that's true.
But I was just gonna say, you don't know, like, right now, someone could be making your recipe right this minute.
Oh my god. Someone could be. I hope they like it.
Okay. All right, now I'm done freaking you out.
Okay, what else to say? Oh yeah, podcast. So, I am actually going to be a guest on a podcast, and I am very excited. It is called the Three Kitchens Podcast. It is a cooking and recipe blog, which fits in perfectly for a well-read tart, which is food and books. It's hosted by two home cooks and bakers who are always looking for new and easy recipes. And basically what's going to happen is these hosts are going to make one of my recipes that I chose for them to do. And then we're just going to talk about an episode, talk about blogging, talk about our podcast, and just have a conversation. And I do listen to this podcast, actually, and I follow them on social media. So I am very excited to be welcomed into the fold. And I'm also extremely grateful to Kait, because if it weren't for her pushing me to do a podcast and pushing me to go on video, I would not be doing any of this, because I was just hiding. So thank you, Kait, for being the best person ever and pushing me beyond my boundaries to do things, because you're helping me make it happen.
This is the actual second putting yourself out there. I'm very proud of you. I feel like you're just going like this, and I'm just like...
You are not going like this. You are going like this as well.
Yes, but I'm so excited for you. This is exactly what you needed. You needed this little push. You needed this little thing. Like, just do you see how much you just listed? Like,
yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice, and you're right. I think it does affect the writing the novel portion in a way I didn't anticipate, because, like you said, I'm bolstered. I'm full of happiness and fulfillment and contentment, and that makes me not dread and put so much pressure on working on the novel. If it happens, awesome. If it doesn't happen, I mean, not awesome, but, it's not going to be like the death blow.
So weird, like, comparison analogy thing, and I do not know why my neck is so itchy right now. Like, I'm dying. But
is it because it's humid there?
And it's all this hair, which is getting chopped off next month. I'm so excited.
How short?
Not that short, but, like, a good little, like, chunk.
Like, this is important stuff we need to discuss. How short?
It'll be long, but I just need a little weight off for just, like, a chunk of time. But not bad analogy for both CJ and I and how we do. But it's kind of like the idea of, like, people who want to have a kid and get pregnant. It's like the people that stress and try and never get pregnant, but when they, like, let it go and they just let it happen, it happens. And this is kind of how I feel about our book baby. So it does kind of work. This is our book baby, and now that you're just putting the stress off of that, I think, are going to produce a baby.
I would hope so, because I want a published book the way probably some people want a baby, and this is what I'm going for. So let's see what happens.
Well, I secretly, just sit over here in sabotage mode, hoping you'll join me in this, self-published realm, and I won't be alone. But no, I love you. I want you to make it all the way.
I have my plan. We'll see. I have my plan. If I don't make it with the plan, I'm joining you in self-publishing land, which I think you need to update us about.
Well, are you done with your updates?
I am done with my updates. Thank you. Okay.
Well, before I update everyone, I'm going to just take a side little tangent as I flip through looking... I had it all prepared, and then I Googled podcasts, and then that just ruined everything pulled up on my phone, but we're good now. I'm just going to take a second to let you all in on what we've recently discovered, which is a Time to Thrill podcast, where smart, creative women share their stories of ambition, resilience, and success. Join bestselling author Amy Austin, creator of the Nicole Long and Casey Court legal thrillers, as she dives deep into what it takes to transition from careers in science, law, teaching, and psychology, among others, to become a best-selling author or artist. Every month, Amy interviews brilliant women who are navigating life as mothers, sisters, daughters, and partners, all while creating their own destinies. Curious about what it takes to thrive in the spotlight? Tune in and get inspired. A Time to Thrill. Because if women hold up half the sky, Amy Austin is here to uncover how. Available everywhere you get your podcasts.
That was a very nice promo that you just read.
Thank you. I think that was the best. I feel bad because I feel like I stumble.
I stumble a lot.
And I'm just like, I want to do this so well for her and to represent her podcast well. Yeah. And then I'm like, when women hold up half the sky, and I always stumble that. And then for some reason I can't say the word Nicole. I mean, I grew up with Nicole. Like, I should be able to say Nicole. Maybe that's why there's trauma around Nicole.
Maybe that's why. That could be it. That could be it.
My body's automatically
like tenses. It's like, no, don't say the name that shall not be named.
Now, there's a couple things I did want to update you all on. CJ let out the secret that I do have a writing update part of it. So I guess I'll just jump into that part, and then I will get to some of the more mundane things that I wanted to talk about as well in here because... Anyway, so yes, I spent the last 30 days really thinking and focusing and trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And I also, in the process of trying to figure out what I wanted to do, decided to reread Praesis, which is the book that I last was querying, and I sent about 65 queries. All of them were either rejections or like form rejections. I only got one rejection that wasn't a form, and it was nice but heartbreaking. Or I never heard from anyone whatsoever. And it's weird, and I don't entirely feel that it is actually me. And that sounds pretentious, and it's very hard for me to say that. But recently, Amy from Inspired to Write did post something about choosing herself, especially now that she's having a traditionally published book coming out. She opened a conversation about choosing herself, and she had queried a book, and she said that she never got any traction with it, but she felt that there was magic in the story and that they were missing something. It wasn't her, it's that they were missing something. And if we all know what the publishing industry looks at right in this moment in time, it's messy and weird and very controlled by book talk, and which I get it. We are controlled by consumers. The entire capitalistic regime that's set up is controlled by what the consumers are willing to sell and purchase, and that's supply and demand and blah, 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 blah.
And however, we want to make money, so we understand, make money to be artists as our job, so we get it.
100%. But I hold hope that there are others out there who want something different in the world, and we just gotta provide it for them through a different means. And so I started rereading Praesis, and in a way, I was borderline tears as I was rereading this because, and I know, like, CJ and I had this whole talk about it when I was first doing it, and I kind of hinted at it on Instagram a little bit, but it's just, as people keep rejecting your story, and they keep rejecting that there's no place for this, and there's something wrong, because I even went down this rabbit hole of what does it mean if you only get form rejections, which there's such theories and ideas and thoughts, and even publishers, agents who will come out and say things about this is what, if you keep getting form rejections, this is what it's actually telling you about your story. And I think we even did a podcast episode about that. And so I started going down this dark place where I, in my own subconscious mind, was tearing apart my book. And in rereading it, I realized how amazing this book is. And I'm trying not... I feel as I'm saying all this, I'm becoming pretentious. And look at me, I'm an artist, and it's everyone else who's the problem.
No, I will agree. Your book is fantastic.
Thank you. And I try to listen to that little voice from you.
Yes. It's loud and annoying. You can listen to it. Just it'll drown out other things.
And so in the ups and downs of the last writing updates that I've given the last 2 or 3 months, and the sadness and the upsetness, I have decided that I am 100% going to publish Praesis, self-published, possibly. When I say 100%, I am going to maybe be able to swing a hybrid publishing. Let's just say this book is getting out there, okay? Yeah. And I don't know if it's 100% getting self-published, or if I might send it out to a few indie publishers to try, or if I can get the funds or find a hybrid publisher that fits what I need that way. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say is this book's getting published.
Yeah.
And I have come up with a publishing date for myself if I'm fully self-publishing. So this is still a little up in the air, because I know that if I go through one of the other two routes, it will take longer to put the book out there than what I can do on my own. So, but currently the publishing date is September 9th, 2025. And 9-9, and if you know, you know. 9-9. 9-9.
I don't know that.
Okay, it's fine.
Okay. Is it from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Yes. 9-9.
Okay. All right. It didn't sound as Andy Samberg as I'm used to, so it threw me off for a little bit.
9-9.
Yes,
anyway,
9-9.
That was totally kind of funny and by accident, but when it happened, I was like, well, now this is the date.
It's Kismet, definitely.
I first looked for a Friday the 13th, because that is a dream of mine, even though all books come out on a Tuesday, is to publish or do something on Friday the 13th. But that would be April, and I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, that's a little soon.
So we're going to September 9th. So currently I am still rereading Praesis. I am essentially being like CJ, where I'm being very detailed. I'm really taking my time. I have a few things that we had discussed in my previous revision of it, of things that I didn't have the energy or space to add into the story. And that, CJ was right about.
Of course.
And there's something about the book that I'm not going to talk about, and I probably will never share on here, and I'm sorry, this is for, behind the scenes only, but there's a thing in my book that has always bothered me, and I always wonder if this is why I didn't get published, and I'm changing that.
Is that what we talked about?
Yeah, it's the very obvious thing.
Okay.
Yes. So I'm changing that, and I have the few changes that I think, CJ suggested that I do agree are going to be better, so I have some chapters I'm adding in. I am clearing up anything that feels cringy to me. This is a very polished book. There doesn't, as I'm reading through it, there really isn't a lot that I need to change outside of those, the very obvious big change, because that does ripple through the whole book. I'm realizing how much it ripples into the whole book. And then the chapters I want to add in for some more connection between the characters, and then just anywhere that last minute, oh, that was a little more cringy than I kind of want that to be. A few dialogues I've come across, I'm like,
maybe not.
Let's just freshen that up a little. But I'm really excited. I'm hoping to work on more of those edits and read-throughs when I'm with CJ in the writing retreat. I don't know. I don't really have a hardcore deadline of wanting to get all this done because I have a lot on my plate right now. I'll talk about some more of that in just a second. But I'm excited, and choosing myself and choosing a date in a way made me have the same reaction that you are having with Ghost Children. It's kind of funny that we're both talking about this. As we were talking about Ghost Children and I was sitting here, I was like, we're literally gonna have the same feedback, because when I chose myself and chose the date, I suddenly didn't feel like I had to rush anymore. I have a deadline I need to make.
Gotta get a book out there by when you say you're having a book come out.
I know.
But
I'm sure everyone will forgive me if something catastrophic happens. I can figure something out. But
and you have a whole year, so there's plenty of time.
Exactly. And dream would be this book is done by the end of the year or the end of January. But, I can still start working on my cover now. I can start doing some of the stuff that you don't need a finished manuscript entirely done yet. Researching where am I going to go with Barnes & Noble? Am I going to go with Amazon? Am I going to go with Ingram?
That was my question. How did you decide what you're going to go with for self-publishing?
I have not 100% decided yet. I have done research before, so I have a general idea, and I think that might actually be a fun podcast when I officially decide.
I think so, too.
I think I will go with the... What is it? Kindle Unlimited. There's from the publishing side. But you can also still do Barnes & Noble. Okay. So that is something that I might end up doing both of them. I think that's what I'm leaning on. But again, I still need to do a little bit more research before I fully decide. And then I would love to share this journey with everyone once it happens, because I don't believe in gatekeeping. And I will share when I know what I'm doing.
I think this is an awesome step for you. I love Précis. I've always loved Précis from the first time I read the first chapters, and I 100% believe that people will love this book. It belongs out there. I do not know why agents aren't giving it the time of day. I don't know why agents aren't giving me the time of day either. I don't know why both of our books aren't being picked up, but I absolutely believe that yours is a great story and people will love it. And I am super excited for you to be putting it out there and to do book events and author talks and publicity and all this stuff, because your dream is coming true. And I am so proud of you for making this decision. I think it's wonderful.
Thank you so much, friend. Honestly, also knowing that you love it so much and you have, it makes me feel like I'm not just, being full of
You're
myself.
not just a legend in your own mind. No, you are. People will see you as the legend you truly are once you get your book out there.
And one of the things, the reason I think I also fought against self-publishing was the fact that I knew that it was going to take so much from me, because it's not just marketing, it's also figuring out all the back end, it's the money, it's the it's so much, and I didn't have the energy levels to support that vision and that ability to do this. And some things have changed in my life recently that I think that suddenly I have it, and I'm having some success in life, okay? And one of the successes, so like we said on here, we're not just writers, and I've decided that this is a great time to also talk about the other artistic things I do in my life that aren't just writing. But I have started a resale clothing line that I'm very excited about. It's called October Roads. We're currently selling on Poshmark and eBay. We have Instagram as well. I should link all that below just to do all this. But my goal is to eventually really have a curated resale portion so that if you are more of the preach emo person, punk person, but you want it elevated, this is where I'm going. I'm hoping to give fashion inspiration and style as well for all that. And my goal is, as we build a nest egg from this and we reap in profits, I'm able to then take that money to manufacture my own designs that I've had for a while in my head. And I feel like this is a great way to start it, is, you know, to be able to get the funds, because making clothes is very expensive. Yeah. I am currently working with my mother-in-law. She's a co-designer on a clothing design that we think we can manufacture now in small quantities by hand.
Wow.
I know, I'm crazy. But I've already kind of talked to a few people about the design, and they're obsessed with it, and so I'm really excited. I'll tell you offline, CJ, because I'm not ready to fully announce what it is yet.
I'm very excited to hear about this.
But she is going to help me, so we're going to make some prototypes. It's probably going to be on Instagram when it happens, and then hopefully we'll be able to sell that. So it's the first step. But eventually I want to take my art designs and be able to transfer them onto fabric, and so I can make clothing based on that. Because one of my favorite things that I've been dying to do is make unisex button-up short sleeve t-shirts with my own design on it from a very silky fabric that hangs really beautifully. I love to wear them. I steal my partner's t-shirts all the time when he finds them. They're not that common, but I'm really excited, and I feel like this is a great place to start, but that takes money. And so why not help the environment, have fun curating clothes. I love thrifting. I get such a high off of it. Oh my God,
fun.
It's
you can get some really cool stuff for a good price and just unique items.
We're not just normal thrifting here. I go to places where they literally are just huge plastic bins full of clothes in piles.
God, I can't.
Digging. I have had my whole body in a bin once. It's been funny. Digging. Elbowing people, digging, and then you pay for it by the pound.
Wow.
So it's you don't know what you're gonna find.
Yeah. See, I have no patience for that. I'm that person who likes to go to the store and see the nice table of shirts laid out on it nicely folded. I'm ooh, this is for me. That's where I live.
No.
I've started getting into consignment stores, but it has to be really nice consignment stores where, again, everything is very organized. If it's
no.
Oh God, I couldn't. It would just give me hives. Oh my God.
Yeah, no, you don't know what you're going to find under that disgusting the bra that's sitting on top of the bio. But sometimes
oh God,
you will
having
find
convulsions.
A genuine leather vintage jacket that you are so excited about refurbing and selling. So keep an eye out, because I have one. I'm just trying to rework the leather so it's nice and shiny and beautiful. So that's
I think it's fun. I think that's and different from writing, which is nice because our brains need breaks from writing. Even with blogging, it's still a little too close to writing. So I don't.
And
yes.
cooking.
Yes, but even then, since I tie it so much to blogging, I don't really do a lot of baking for fun or cooking for fun. So it's still kind of in the work category. So I think it's great that you have something that's completely different, that's still a business, but different from your day job. And you can just kind of go along with that and give your brain a rest.
I know, this girl offers to make us dinner at a writing retreat, and here she is rolling up with her own blog post. Be pick one of these recipes for me to make you.
It's because it is just easier to put those there, because all my recipes now are pretty much on the blog. So just easier.
Well, the other thing I've been doing, because, I can't sit still of just, letting the resale clothes do themselves, is I've also started to hand embroider on some of the items, too, and taking some of my art designs and hopefully going to put them onto, sweaters and things that I'm finding. I have this really cool, black t-shirt that I have, a spinal design I'm going to be doing and stuff. So I'm working on that now.
You're embroidering a whole spine on a t-shirt?
Well, no, it's just going down the spine. It's a design that's going down, the spine. Yeah.
But still, that's
a good idea,
awesome.
Though.
Yeah, you should totally embroider a spine
but
on
I don't
a
think
t-shirt.
People would pay for how long.
You would be surprised that people will pay for. Totally, people would love that.
Because when I buy the t-shirts to work on, because again I'm paying by the pound, so they're cheap as fuck. But I grab Gap or Express or Ralph Lauren t-shirts that I find, so I'm not getting crappy t-shirts that don't deserve quality designs on them. But I did find a crappy sweatshirt that had a design printed on it already, and so to practice, because I haven't done stretchy material yet, So I want to do like some sweaters. Like I want to add like bats on a sleeve or something really cool.
Oh, that's cute. Yeah.
I got this sweatshirt just to practice on, but it has like a design on it. So I'm just like embroidering over the design so I don't have to think about it. But I did find this really awesome Free People oversized cardigan, and it has holes in it, and it's really like kind of falling apart. But I'm going to fix it, and I'm going to make a Taylor Swift coated sweater for myself. Well, for all those that don't know, Taylor Swift releases a cardigan to go with every album that she releases because she had a song called Cardigan, and it's beautiful, and I love it. And I really was upset that I never got the TTPD cardigan, and so this is going to be me making my own TTPD cardigan.
TTPD?
The Tortured Poets Department. The Tortured Poets Department.
Okay, gotcha.
TTPD.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm very excited, so keep an eye out. This is a side of art, like CJ said. It's been very filling for me. We've had sales, so having the sales and having our name get out there has just been phenomenal to my psyche. It also helps that I'm starting to bring a little bit more income in for the family.
Yes, income is nice.
My partner's been so helpful in letting me explore this creative side of myself and giving me the means to do that, and I'm so grateful for it. And I just, someone mentioned about like needing to refill your cup, and I'm like, how the fuck do I do that?
I can't even find my goddamn cup. Where'd it go? It rolled over there onto the couch.
It's perfect. I love that. That is perfect.
What?
I don't even know where my cup is.
I don't know where cup is. Yeah. That's sometimes how you feel. But I'm glad that you know where your cup is and that you're filling it back up again.
We'll see.
See, there's your cup.
Let's not talk about the mess in the business room right now.
It's okay.
I did not track the clothes that we have properly. Yeah, we're working on that.
That's okay. That's okay. It'll come a time. It's part of being a business owner is just the learning curve.
God, the learning curve. Oh, there's been a learning curve. Well, I know I've talked everyone's ear off, but I have one more thing I want to talk about. Because it wouldn't be a podcast episode if I didn't mention Sarah Nicole Lemon.
I'm following her now.
I'm so excited.
I'm following her.
Sarah Nicole Lemon fan club. If she ever watches these, and like, oh my God.
She's going to be like scared of you is what's going to happen. You're like, I'm so happy about that. I'm so proud.
No, I'm not. I'm not happy about her being scared of me because I do talk to her and I don't want her to be creeped out. But I just wanted to share that she did a fall solstice tarot lay for all, tarot setup. And I did it, and I wanted to talk about what I got from that since we just had the fall solstice and we're going into a new era, which is kind of fun because we're both entering these projects and this excitement and this new energy. And so I just wanted to tell you that I got the layout from her.
Okay.
To give her credit, but I wanted to talk about some of the results I got real quick.
Okay.
So one of them was a card to show what you were reaping for the season. And just real quick, if anyone wants to know what this is, she did post it on Instagram, so you can do it yourself if you're interested. She posted her whole fall solstice ritual on there, so make sure to check it out. So you can do it. But, so one of the cards was to represent what are you reaping? Because again, fall is about grabbing your harvest. So what are you reaping in this harvest as we change seasons from the growth to, the decay and the dead? And what I got was to make sure I watch my energy levels, which, if no one's been listening to this podcast yet, that seems extremely fitting. So I want to make sure that my inner strength stays strong and I'm not hiding away and that I'm able to keep pushing forward. Because that is a big fear of mine, is I'm taking on more and more responsibilities and more things that I will, kind of die out.
We don't want you to die out. Please live. Please live.
But they did say make sure, even if you need to hide away a little bit, to keep working on what you're working on because it's still important. And I felt that was perfect because I feel like I'm squirreling away a little bit more as I'm trying to work on Braces. I want to spend more time. I don't want to be on social media as much. I want to squirrel away as we're entering this new season of coziness, if it ever gets here, and be able to work on that. Now, the other thing is, it was a card for the other side of the veil, which I loved what I got.
Okay.
Which was spiritual love from the universe. So nice. It is being more receptive to creative opportunities.
Okay. That sounds very promising.
Right? Especially with this design that I came up with my mother-in-law.
I love that you're working with your mother-in-law. That is just such a dark horse, like, business partner candidate. So,
well,
yeah.
It's interesting because it's not like I'm working with her entirely, but she's helping out so much. I'm going to give her creative credit, like half of it, and stuff like that, because the way the story of how, like, the idea came up and everything, and I don't want her to just think I'm running away with something.
Yeah, that's very nice of you.
We're having this, like, relationship with crafting together.
That's good. That's nice to bond with your mother-in-law.
Yeah, and I have trauma around that, and so it's nice to have a safe person.
Yeah.
And it's been fun, and I think I'm also helping her get out of her shell. And do something
probably.
Because I just found out, after knowing her for almost 15 years, I just found out how much into fashion she is. Like, I should have known this already. But she is obsessed with fashion. And I'm like, I'm obsessed with fashion. Like, how are we not, like...
How are you not talking about this and bonding over it from, like, day one?
Thank you. Yes, thank you. And I'm just sitting here like, I thought you were just into nutrition and diet. Like, you're a dietitian. I didn't know you like fashion.
Well, there you go. Now you can connect on a whole other level.
And so, through a spiritual love from the universe, it also means to allow my emotions to come through my work. And we all know Praise is emotional. So.
Yes, very emotional.
And then the other thing was, what do I need to dig deeper into? And a wave of intellectual energy. It says my mind is on expansion mode. It just felt like everything that I read was just all about, like, focus, dig down into the creative, protect the energy, but dig down, do all this. It says that thrive on new ideas, inspiration, thinking, and vision. And I'm just like, yes, please.
All right.
Yes, please tell this. So if anyone needed a sign, like I needed a sign, and this was my sign, that it is time to work on praises and just say, fuck it, we're doing it.
Yep.
Like, fuck it. It's also funny because I feel like I'm getting so many, like, signs, driftwood, as we like to say, from the universe. Yes. Because even that time I got drunk and saved a demon was originally self-published.
Was it really?
Yes.
Okay.
And then I had another person that I followed that was originally self-published, and she just signed, like, a huge deal with Bloomberg. And then I believe the Frida McFadden, I believe is how you say her name. She was self-published. So it's just like I'm getting all these moments of these really successful authors that are so beloved, but you would never know that they were originally self-published, and now look at them.
I'm reading a story right now, or a novel right now, and it is self-published, and it's really, really good. And it just makes me think about how many stories are out there that are self-published and fly under the radar, or that we don't even know about, that never ever get a chance. Like, this is a really great story. Could it be a little better with, like, a little bit more professional editing and stuff? Yeah, definitely. But it's still a really great story and has a lot of promise with it. And how much is out there that we're missing? So don't be something that's missed. You should be out there.
Well, I know, because I'm a pre-screener.
Yeah, it's true. You do know.
And yes, there is shit out there.
There's shit everywhere.
But there are some books that I have flagged that I'm like, I need to read this. And and it's fun because I actually did read one that I flagged. Because it's hard. I don't read the full book. So every time I pass one along, I'm like, was this actually good, or was I, bamboozled at the beginning? But I picked one that in my gut, I was like, this is a book. Like, this is a book. This is amazing. And I did finish the whole book. And I was like, I knew it. And I was right. And it was so good. But she's self-published. I don't have any idea when book 2 is coming out, and I'm pissed off. Because
gotta find her, like, Arthur webpage or something.
I did already. Like, nothing about book 2 yet. Nothing. And I'm just like, you bitch. You sucked me in, and now I'm sitting here.
Maybe you need to respond to her and just, like, send, like, a little message to her on Instagram saying, be like, hey, I loved your book, because, I mean, you're going to be a self-published author. Imagine how it is when you just get, like, crickets out there, true. Because they don't get as much publicity and promotion, and so you don't know who's actually reading your stuff. It's not like you can walk into Barnes & Noble and see someone looking at your book, so I think it's good to be proactive and pay it forward, because someday, in a year, it's going to be you.
Just wait till we get the story later on when I talk about sending my book to my favorite authors. Anywho, that's going to be a whole nother podcast episode.
I'm excited for you to chronicle your self-publishing, journey, because it's going to be fantastic for the podcast, because I'm still going traditional publishing route and you're going off in this whole new brave new world direction, and it's going to be so awesome to hear about it from the trenches, as you say.
Ugh, yeah, I'm scared shitless.
Better thee than me. No.
I wish the best for you.
Fair.
All right, friends, thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I actually feel like this is one of the best updates we've had in a few months. Sorry for the crickets over the summer, but it was the summer.
It's the summer. That's what happens.
Anyways, don't forget, we have October book club coming up. I'm so excited. We are reading Vampires El Norte by Isabella Cañas. I'm still trying to work on her last name. Anyway, Cañas. It has a squiggle, so
yeah.
Cañas. If you have not gotten your copy yet, there's still time to get your copy in one of our bookshop links below to help support us and give us a little kickback so we can keep producing this amazing content for all of you. But thank you so much for listening to Dark Side of the Word, a podcast for all the dark storytellers, creatives, and artists out there in the world. We are weekly on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeart. Also, make sure to check out our video podcast version on YouTube, where you can give this video a thumbs up if you're watching it in video, and also to make sure to subscribe for us. But thank you so much, friends, and we hope you have an amazing creative journey. Bye.
Bye. I like the little sign off with the amazing creative journey.
Oh, you like that?
I like that.
Okay, I'll add it.
I like that. You should write that down. I like that.